And I am an interpreter and a polyglot, and I'm creating this series of videos called certifications and trainings. And this video will be dedicated to the language line training, testing, and certification. I have the results here, and I'm gonna talk about that. But before you start, if you guys like to support me, you can subscribe for $7.99. And you will see videos dedicated to members only, where I share my experience providing languages, my challenges, my commitments, how I do interviews, how I contract, and so on and so on. And if you are a Spanish-English medical interpreter, you can click on the link below on my platform Thinkific, and you can purchase a training called Sistema Cardiovascular Inglese, Spanish-English Cardiovascular System. Is training in 2 languages. This is training in 2 languages, and you can purchase it for $47. It's about 3 hours and a half of training, and in the end you're gonna receive PDF format of medical terminology in 2 languages and certification of completion. Said that, before I start, you can click also and purchase my merchandise, serotonin. You can purchase positive things, mugs, and so on. If you like, click below. And let's start. Today I'm going to talk about language line solution, tests, and training. So if you're my members, you already know that I provide services for them. I have shared different experience, different situations with language line. But if you're not member, so language line solution did hire me for Macedonian interpreter, and they did have orientation, which was about hour something. The orientation was the classical orientation that you can get, and then there was a training. I was trying to calculate the hours of this training. I believe it was 40. It was very intense training. So we had code of ethics, how to take notes, consecutive, simultaneous, different ways of interpreting. They basically like train you like you never interpret before. So this is a good for new starters, for people that hasn't done this. They also had a training or overgo for body system, especially I have mental health, vision, urinary, breast cancer, ovary, respiratory, bones, endocrine, reproduction, digestive, thyroid. They were having a different scenarios that we practice, which was very useful. But I want to talk about the actual training that they provide. It was a training, and after which I had a test, which is called interpreter skill testing. And I could see from 8 to 2, I have several days or so-called level 5 language proficiency test, which is one of the highest one if by the older scale. So they had a different type of trainings, but the specific of which was terminology related to insurance, finance, 401k, liability, and so on. They went in depth explaining those concepts to us interpreters in order to understand them and be able to interpret. Not only, but while they were doing the training, the people that, let's say, they were like people providing different type of languages, and they would have a small session to interpret, actually. Even though the others wouldn't understand, you still had to do it. So it was very useful, I gotta tell you. One thing though, so as you understand, the training were those trainings that they trained me after, I believe it was a year, when they did the high security clearances. And you know, when they clear you, they offer you more job, more interesting, more so on. When they offer these clearances to me, and they offer the training, I enroll. They give you different schedules, because 40 hours is quite a lot, especially if you work and provide languages like me. Just switch into it and start doing different thing, like after you interpret all day to get a training is very hard. So it was blocked on different packs. The first trainer, the first 4 hours, it was a nightmare. Why it was a nightmare? Because the person who was doing the training, it was obviously Latino. I remember it was a male. This person did not pronounce fully the words. I don't know what was the reason behind that. And also he would speak really, really fast. So while you were guessing what was the word that he was using, he was already saying other 10 words, but he was pronouncing them half. So 3 hours of this, it was like punishment. I had a headache. It was terrible. They were providing you slideshows to prepare or to check before the training. So I was able to understand by the slideshows where he was, but I wasn't able to understand what he was saying. So it was so bad that after these 3 hours, I get in touch with Language Line and I told him that the trainer it's not pronouncing the words fully, and there is nothing on earth that is gonna make me put myself under this type of torture again, because guessing what he's saying was challenging and I was not useful. It was just stressful. And I told him, if you cannot switch me to another trainer, I'm not gonna sign the contract with you, because this is job. This is terrible. So they did listen to me and they did switch me to another trainer, which was a lady, and she did a good training. I gotta tell you, if a trainer it's not taking their time and seems like they're running and half pronouncing the words, especially if we're talking finance, specific 401k, ROF, and so on, it's just bad. It was just very, very bad. Poor, poor, poor. So luckily for me, they transferred me to another group and I was able to do this training. The second part, I separated in 4 blocks. It was insurance. The fourth part was finance and banking. The third was legal court and criminal. And then the last part, it was general finance, terminology, and so on. It was very, very intense. And there was a test. The test was 1 hour. I do have my results here, and as you know, I do provide languages. So this is my result. You could see it. I couldn't believe that I had 100% and this Macedonian financial, 90% on medical, and 96 on insurance. So I was expecting to have higher on medical. I was surprised by this Macedonian result. Very pleasantly, they give me the score, and this is my interpreter ID. 100%. I haven't even have this result in my native language, Bulgarian. So I was like very nicely surprised by this test. And to be honest with you, I just went and said to myself, you just do what you know how to do. And I didn't care if I'm gonna pass it or no. I went with the idea that they're gonna fail me on it. And I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised. The test is called ELR Level 5, or Interpreter Skill Testing, or native or bilingual proficiency level 5. Level 5 is a type of proficiency test that they do, native or bilingual proficiency, to see how fluent you are. And I know that usually level 3 is the one that they allow you to pass a certain score. So this is like the old scale. Level 5 is the highest. My results are good. And this is this training that Language Line provide and the testing that they provide. They did not give me the certification, of course. They did not provide it to me, but they did provide me the results. Which is very nice because I can use it to go to do other courses and stuff. But anyway, said that this is the level 5 training and interpreter skill testing provided by Language Line. I will tell you, I feel like it was useful, and I feel out of this first trainer, this training was very necessary, because a lot of people test you on terminology, but very little company or organization put the effort to explain you concepts like that. And in those type of interpreting session, if you don't understand it, it's very hard to interpret. So thank you, Language Line. If you want to start, you can apply. They don't pay so well, and they do have some other glitches, but this is other type of testing that I wanted to share here in this folder. Thank you and have a good day. Bye bye.